Hey everyone, David here from multitool.org. So I'm going to be taking a look at the Model 6 from Tenable. I've also got the Model 6 from Concept. For those who don't know, Tenable is the budget line that Concept offers, offering the same type of thing that they offer in the premium line, just scaled down with different tandem materials, blade seals, etc. So I want to have them both out because I love how they created a perfect example of this, but made it better. So in the original Model 6, we have 3.1 inch blade and S35 VN. Method of opening is a thumb hole. Titanium frame lock, very long lanyard hole, flipper tab also for deployment. Has kind of this orange peel finish on it and a nice long deep carry pot clip. The modified sheep's foot blade is a great utility blade. They do a high flat grind on this, so it's exceptionally good at slicing. So this was a good knife, I believe. It had everything, all the hallmarks of what I like in a knife. The only downside I had was the method of deployment. The flipper was probably the best way to deploy this because the thumb hole is so small that I have a hard time opening, and part of it's because of the way that the clip is lined up with the lock bar, because unless you get your finger out of the way, it's hard to use your thumb to get that out. So, I mean, I can middle finger flick it, but I tended to use flipper most of all just because of that poor design of deployment. The hole just wasn't large enough. So I felt like it was a more expensive knife that had some limitations to it that kind of detracted away from its overall use. It was gorgeous. It works great, but deployment was wonky. So what they've done in the Tenable version of the Model 6 is they replaced the thumb hole and flipper and just did a ramped thumb stud, similar to what you see on the Concept Hinterland. They also modeled the clip too, so it's very similar to that on the regular model, which I applaud, because a lot of companies will just use the same clip on everything in their budget line, and it's good for a cost-saving measure, but that's about it. It doesn't help the end user at all. It just makes it easier for the company, unless it's a really good clip, and then that's debatable. But deployment is way easier with these thumb studs. Them being ramped allows you to get a good purchase to push off and get it going. So this is the same dimensions, 3.1 inch blade, overall of 7.47 inches. They did decide to go with a lock bar, axis style lock, crossbar lock, instead of the frame lock, which it's so buttery smooth. It's just incredible. I like that they did a little pop of color with the lanyard. Kind of brings it aesthetic, kind of makes it pop, a nice little accent color. I like the micarta. I love micarta. I've decided I like micarta more so than any other material in knives, with the exception of titanium, of course. But it's nice and soft to the touch, kind of reminds you of a pair of blue jeans. You've got a good grip, nice little area for jimping on the spine to rest your thumb. The blade with the downward tip allows you to really push into that medium and have some pretty efficient cutting. And you can really see the high grind here on the blackwash blade. Very efficient cutter, very nice, very smooth. And I like it because it offers everything that this does. They solved the problems and made it better. Much more efficient and easy to use, which is what the whole point of making a knife is, especially for making a newer version of it. You want something that's easy to use, something that keeps you coming back for it over and over. So that was just a brief little introduction to the Tenable Model 6 and using the Concept Model 6 as a reference. Both incredible knives. Titanium one does have some limitations, which they definitely fixed in the Tenable version. Got any questions? Got any suggestions? Feel free to ask me in the comment section below.